Well, first car on the road, it is Kalle Rovanperä. Quite a low sun this morning, really important. You know, we see it every time, don't we? They clean the windscreen, but with the low sun just coming up above the horizon, really, really important for Kalle and then for Elvin behind to make sure there's not a mark on that windscreen. Kalle, first on the road this morning. First of all, what are you hearing about the conditions in the stage? What are you expecting?
It should be quite okay. For sure we have the places which are muddy, but I think overall it's quite okay. Let's see.
Normally you'd be going out this morning and you might expect to lose a minute today with road cleaning. That is not going to be the case. You might be in the best position today.
I don't know. Let's hope it's not so bad.
Well done, Kalle. Good luck today. Let's just wander along, see how Joni's getting on. We'll say good morning to Joni. It's always lovely to say good morning to Joni. How are you feeling this morning?
Good morning. A bit stressed because we get the road sections today for after this stage just morning, like 15 minutes ago. So as a co-driver, you would like to prepare and brace yourself what's going to happen. But basically now we have to just go with the flow.
Listen, we'll talk a little bit about that. Yeah, there's an amendment to the road book. Basically, the stage is shortened. They're coming out of the stage at 10 kilometres. What does that mean? It means the road books that they've got clearly are now no longer usable. They had to put a new road book section in. David, you've got a point you want to make about that.
No, just that as a co-driver as well, Carl, what you do the night before, you would study the road book, wouldn't you? So that every junction you're ready for it, you're familiar. You know, we've just turned to that PepsiCo station. You make sure that you've got that in your mind, and if you haven't got those tulips, you can't do it.
Well, you're right, it is all about preparation, and there's nothing worse for a co-driver than feeling under-prepared, because they are the most prepared. They're so totally diligent. That's why co-drivers make great team managers, make great logistical managers, because they're absolutely methodical about everything they do. And being thrown these curveballs at the last minute, they don't like it, and you can understand why. We'll have a word with Scotty about that just as we won't disrupt him. Scotty, we're just talking about how late you've got this new road book. It makes it difficult for you, puts a bit of stress on you.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you prepare so much for what you're given on the itinerary and everything, and then when last minute changes. But let's say when you have weather like this, you've kind of got to expect it and be ready for it. So yeah, the more prepared you are, the more times you've done this rally, it all helps. You kind of know where you're going even if you don't have a road book. So
you've done it a few times. How many times did you do it in the past?
I don't know, but I was here in 2007, so I've done it a few, and then in the WRC days also. So I like it here. Wasn't expecting this weather, but anyway, I still love the rally, and it's going to be a tricky one, especially today.
It's nice that it's a bit cooler for you as well. Quite often, Acropolis can be a really demanding rally for the crews in the car. The temperatures can get up. Good morning, Elvin. Feeling good this morning?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good luck out there. Again, Elvin Evans will be delighted with delighted is not the right word, but he'll be pleased to have seen the road conditions, or to hear about the road conditions. Fingers crossed he won't be losing as much time as he thought. Let's have a word with Thierry Neuville. Very good morning, Thierry Neuville. A great start last night in the Super Special. Great crowd there. The atmosphere seemed really, really good.
Yeah, the atmosphere was good, but I preferred 10 times more last year.
Right. Okay, you preferred the stadium?
I think we gave all our congratulations to the organizer last year for doing such a great job and bringing more than 60,000 people to the stage. So I don't understand why this year we...
Yeah, that's a reasonable point, Thierry Neuville. What are you hearing, Thierry, about the conditions in the stage this morning?
Yeah, stage is shortened, first at all, and seems like, it's a bit of humid, but not so much.
Not so much rain in the forecast. You're wonderful weathermen. What are they telling you?
They don't know so really well. The risk of showers has increased compared to yesterday.
Ooh, that's interesting. Good luck, Thierry Neuville, out there. Have a look at this. So have a look up there. So the opening stage runs straight up this road and off to the right where the sun is. Yep, they then come back round, and the second stage runs on the other side of this range of hills here, exactly where those heavy clouds are. So that is what Thierry Neuville is referring to when he said the risk of showers has increased out here this morning. That could be interesting if we get a little bit of rain. Let's check one spare tyre for Elvin Evans. I suspect they've all gone out with one spare. That you know, that risk of puncture is still very much there. It's one of the big risks of the Acropolis Rally. But with the softer surface, is there less of a risk? I don't know. I think the big unknown, as Robin Pera heads off to the stage, the big unknown, look, have a look at the road here. You'd never know there had been storms coming through. But literally around that corner, down the main road, there are gullies down the side, left and right, where the water has streamed off the mountains, and it's cut deep and wide gullies. So what happens when you're up in the hills with that amount of water? Well, it brings rocks down onto the road. It loosens the gravel, and it, you know, there can be a lot of unexpected debris that's come out. I'm not talking about trees. I'm not talking about big branches. The organisers will move those, but a lot of rocks will have moved over the last few days with this horrendous weather that we've had. That is always on a day like today an issue. So we've seen that Elfyn Evans has got one spare. I think Thierry's also got one spare. They do have a tyre fitting zone after the second stage, and then don't forget, no service today. Then it's 3 more stages and up to the service at Lamia at the end of the day. 65, Thierry saying thanks for reminding him. 65 kilometres is the new distance today. Elfyn Evans heading off into the stage. We will await our next drivers. Well, we've moved a little bit further down the road. That is Oyt Tanak preparing to move into the stage with Martin Järvejoja next to him. What can Tanak do here this week? Well, you know what? We know this car is very capable of winning. Needs a little bit of luck. They need a little more, durability, if you like, to make sure they get through these hard, tough stages. The Puma was magnificent here last year. It was a 1-2 at the end of day 1 for the Puma. Tanak, yeah, he will fancy his chances this weekend, that is for sure. Now, let's have a little. I think. Okay, yeah, a little chat, that's it. They are a great team, Toyota. We've seen that before with Takistan. Good morning, Seb. Just very quickly, everything good this morning?
Yeah, all good.
A few little adjustments overnight, but you're all okay with that? The road section changes?
Yeah, obviously a little bit shorter. Never good news, but I think the organizer do his best that we can have a good rally.
Best of luck, Seb. Listen, we talked about these, the damage down the sides of the roads. It's not quite so extreme here, but you can see it. You can see where the water has run down. It's come off the mountains and it's run down like a river either side of this road. A bit further down there are deep, almost ravines at the side of the road. Esa-Pekka Lappi, he will be looking to get right back on it this week after the enormous disappointments of Finland. Potentially a winner here. I think you have to say that Lappi is potentially a winner of just about any event, certainly on gravel these days. Let's grab a word with the Flying Finn. Just 1 second, we'll just let them get together. It's a little bit of a short road section. Esa-Pekka, good morning. Nice and cool, a breeze out there this morning, drying things out, but what are you hearing about the weather?
Well, it should be okay. It should be cloudy, but it doesn't seem to be too cloudy. But yeah, it should be okay.
We're hearing there's an increased chance of showers out there, maybe a bit of rain.
No.
You don't think so? You think it'll stay dry? How are you feeling with the conditions then? Because it's a little bit of the unknown this morning. The recce conditions here were okay, but we don't know what damage has been done in the subsequent days, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, it's only a little bit unpredictable what we're gonna face. So yeah, for sure, a lot of surprises, I guess.
Good luck out there, Esa-Pekka. There we go. Yeah, I do think. I think this is one of the most open rallies we've seen in a while. For me, it's a little bit ominous, the fact that Kalle Rovanperä will have a better road position perhaps than we thought, because Rovanperä, if he gets into a rhythm and the road doesn't evolve in favour of those behind him, Rovanperä might be difficult to beat here. But it's a little bit tricky to say right now exactly who will have the best road position. Is it Rovanperä? Well, it could be if it gets muddy. But as Esa-Pekka said there, it does look as if it's going to stay dry, so there may be a bit of road cleaning that may benefit the likes of Esa-Pekka and Taka-san. Taka-san's gone really well here in the past as well. Again, just making sure those windscreens are absolutely spotless with this lowish now rising sun. We have talked about it. Change to the itinerary, change to the road sections, a change to the start time this morning, 20 minutes later. That helps with the low sun. That really helps. The sun is a little bit higher now. David's got a point.
No, just a little bit habitual this, isn't it? Cleaning the screen. Literally, they left service.
Well, it wasn't a service, David. It was a park for me overnight.
Good point, Colin.
It was a park for me. There was no, the teams weren't allowed to, they came out the Super Special last night. They drove 70 Ks to Park Fermé and Loutraki. They left the cars there. They've picked them up this morning. So that's why they're making sure it's all clean. Good morning, Aaron Johnson.
How are you?
Pretty good. The question is, how are you though? Because, these new road books for you puts a bit of pressure at the last minute. You on top of everything?
Yeah, they just like to make us work for it, so.
Good. And 20 minutes extra in bed, that must have been appreciated.
No, we started at the same time we always were going to start, so this you made a mistake. First time ever.
Well, yeah, I'm allowed to occasionally. We got an extra 20 minutes. Initially, we were leaving our hotel at 6:45, amended that to 7:15. We got an extra half hour. It's not what you want to hear, Aaron Johnson, is it? Taka-san, how are you feeling this morning, Taka?
Yeah, it's going to be a big challenge, and we really don't know what kind of condition they are, so yeah, going to be crazy.
What's your approach then for this first couple of stages?
Let's see how it's going with the feeling, with the car and everything, because obviously I didn't have the test and the shakedown, so let's see.
Yeah, that's a really important point. Taka-san's test, because of the threat of fires, it wasn't because of a fire in the region. The testing was all around here, actually. There's quite a complex of roads. Just look at this valley. There's a hill across to the left, or this mountain. Then across to the right, eventually, we have the Mediterranean Sea. In between the mountain and the sea, there's a complex of many, many kilometres of top quality WRC roads. And the testing around here wasn't cancelled because of actual fires. It was cancelled, or it was rescheduled because of the threat. They didn't want lots of people going into the hills and potentially having an accident and igniting things. So yeah, Taka-san missing out on that. No shakedown. He's going to have to just feel his way into today, I think, for Taka-san and Aaron Johnson. Are we walking down here, boys? There is a bit going on down here. There is quite a bit going on. Let's run. Come on, we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. See ya, thanks. Look, I'm an athlete. Come on, cameraman, keep up with me. He's only 35 years younger than me, but I'm like a racing snake. I really am. Now, as we mentioned, they came out the Super Special last night into a Park Fermé, so they've not had a service. But I thought maybe they were just changing tyres around, but that sounds a little more frantic. Look, there's the road book with all the amendments. Look at the road book on the ground there. Candido. Yeah, they've got time, they've got plenty of time. Danny just wiping his hands off. Really important, we've seen that before. With Ogier in Sardinia, was it this year? Where he slipped, where was it? Sardinia, where he got mud on his foot. Didn't clean it off and slipped off the brake and off the road he went. Danny Sordo just cleaning the grease off his hands. Obviously he'll put driving gloves on, but he doesn't want any of that grease. There we go, look. Cleaning the grease off his hands, doesn't want any of that in the car. We'll just find out whether that was just a standard change of tyres. That's very possible, because they came out of service. They were on the transporters last night, down to the Super Special. Tyres were chosen in Lamia for the day, so the drivers then, their responsibility to swap those tyres around, to rotate them about. Just torquing up Danny on the front left there, making sure. We'll get a word with it. There's a little bit more work going on here than I suspect Danny would have wanted. Look at this. Look at this. This is interesting. The gaiters on the struts. Now, what we've seen in the past with really muddy conditions is you can get so much mud clogged between the springs. So the Hyundai's going out with the gaiters to stop that mud. They're expecting muddy conditions quite clearly out there this morning. Danny, I know you're working hard. Very quickly, everything okay?
Yeah, all good.
Just changing the tyres. Was that a standard change?
Yeah, it's normal. We changed a little bit from some clicks.
Some clicks. What are you expecting with the conditions?
But no, it will be, I think, a little bit more dry than we expected at one point,
Okay, so Danny's expecting it dry. One or two of the other drivers saying they're expecting maybe a little bit of rain out there this morning. Not on this first stage, that's for sure, on the second stage.
This stage, I don't know the next one, but this...
Side that mountain, look, it's raining. David Evans says it's absolutely pouring with rain over there. It is definitely raining up there. And that second stage, basically they come out of this stage, they go back down to the main road by the Mediterranean. They then go, you see the end of the mountain range through the trees, you might just be able to pick it up. They go round the back there, they go round the back of that mountain, and the start is quite literally where those big black clouds are on the other side of that mountain range. So yeah, there could be some rain out there this morning. Well, this is not the start to Friday that Pierre Louis-Loubet wanted at all. Nick Gilsol on the phone to the team. What's the situation? Well, super special last night down in Athens. They came out of service in Lamia on trucks down towards the super special. The cars did the super special. It was a 70-kilometre road section into a parc fermé. The drivers went to their hotels in Loutraki, out of the hotels this morning, into the cars and up into the stage. So no service, no assistance from the team at all. So what has happened here, we're not sure. But while we were up the road, we're saying, well, where is Pierre Louis? We hadn't seen him. Clearly running behind schedule. There's not a lot going on here now. There's not a lot going on. So you can see on his face, the poor fella looks almost defeated. Let's just go and have a word with Pierre and see what's happened. Pierre, sorry to trouble you, but what's the situation here? What's happened? What's happened? What's the situation?
We don't know.
What is the actual problem though? Can you feel, is there no power? What is it? Is there warning?
Temperature things.
And is there anything you think you can do about it?
No, we try.
Yeah, well, let's stay with this for a little while and see Nick Gilsol on the phone to the team, clearly to the engineers, trying to work out what the issues might be. Again, to remind you, potentially this is catastrophic because there is no service today. They basically do the opening stage, 4 more 65 kilometres of competitive distance, but in terms of road section distance, it's huge. It's a long way back to the service park in Lamia. I've got to say, we've been in these situations many times. We've come across drivers with issues before the opening stage many times. Generally, if there's a chance of fixing it, it can be a little bit frantic. These boys look to me as if they are resigned to the fact that whatever that issue is with their Puma, potentially there's not a lot they can do. No service. What does that mean practically? Well, it means the drivers will carry a little bit more in the way of tools, in the way of tools, in the way of spares. But there's only certain things you can carry. You'll carry suspension parts, fluids, but it sounds like that could be electric.
You said it all, Cole. The lack of action here is telling, isn't it? The fact that they've lifted the bonnet, they've had a look, and now with these hybrid systems, and I'm not in any way suggesting it's hybrid, an electrical issue, it's a completely different ballgame. There's nothing that you can do. Even if the team are just down there, in service, there's nothing you can do. And for me, the fact that the boys are just standing now with the bonnet shut, it's about to be opened again, but I think
overheating issues. We came back down the road. How far is it down to that junction, David? Maybe 500 metres. They were stopped there. We spun the car around as they headed off to follow them. They've only come 500 metres. The car was moving. Car sounded okay. There are no strange smells. Could it be something like a sensor even?
That would be my thought, yeah. Immediately it was an electrical sensor, something like that, because like you said, there's no smell from the car at all. So
no fluid anyway.
Regardless now, they're already incurring a significant amount of road penalties, aren't they? They're very late to get into this stage 2. So whatever happens, they're out of the running.
Yeah, they are, and desperately bad luck, because don't forget, Pierre Louis-Loubet was magnificent here last year. The Friday here last year was perhaps his best day in a rally car.
Yeah, absolutely. He definitely benefited from where he was on the road, but he, as we always say, he had to drive the car and he did it, and he was leading the event.
He really was. Desperately bad luck by the looks of things for Pierre and for Nico Gilsol. We'll stick with this for a little while and see whether or not they do manage to come up with a solution, folks. But things not looking great for the number 7 Puma of Loubet and Gilsol.